Millions of people using ChatGPT are overlooking its productivity tools. These tools can help you keep ChatGPT's responses on point, organize your work, and get things done without your involvement. Today is the first of a two-part series on these tools covering ChatGPT projects, Canvas, and tasks. I'm Bill Eastman, and this is the AI for Your Business channel. It's a channel business people can come to quickly learn how they can leverage AI. Click on the subscribe button below and you can be sure not to miss any tips and tools for your business. Let's begin with projects. Just think of projects as project folders. You see it over here in the left menu pane, and you create a new project by clicking on it and giving it a name. I'll open an existing project to show you the contents. Inside the project, you can initiate different conversations, and each conversation is saved within the project. Furthermore, ChatGPT can reference all these conversations within a project, so you don't have to worry about the left hand not knowing what the right hand is doing. One cool thing is that you can also load documents, into your project to act as a common knowledge base. You can reference these files in your prompts and have all of the conversations work from a single understanding. In addition, you can add overall instructions for ChatGPT to follow in all the conversations within the project. Think of instructions as all the guidance and info you'd want to give to members of a project team. As I mentioned in my prompting episode, the key to good output is good detailing your instructions. Let's look at standalone and custom instructions, and let's dig into that a bit. Custom instructions have been around for a while. Just go into your settings and click Customize ChatGPT. Its questions are pretty generic and don't really get into the detail you need. Therefore, you need to go above and beyond. Think through what you would like someone to know and how you would like them to respond to you. This is a great place to call in ChatGPT for some consultation. Tell ChatGPT that you want to help creating custom instructions, and then give it some info on yourself, what you're doing, your goal, how you like your responses, and so on. That should lead to some back and forth, and that should lead to a nice set of custom instructions. The drawback with standalone custom instructions is that you may want different sets of instructions depending upon what you're doing. That means that you have to keep a repo of your instructions to paste in accordingly. With projects, you can create instructions specific to each project. The instruction form within projects is a bit generic as well, so ignore that and enter the instructions you worked out with ChatGPT. Let's see an example of working with ChatGPT to create instructions. You're a realtor and you're creating a project for finance strategies in a period of high interest rates. The realtor begins with this prompt. I'm a realtor and I'm creating a ChatGPT project on real estate finance strategies during times of high interest rates. I'd like to create custom instructions for the prompts in the project, but don't know exactly what to include. What do you need to know to help me? Here you see ChatGPT coming back with a set of questions to help hone the instructions. Reading the questions may even spark some ideas on additional info that should be included in the instructions. Continue the conversation to develop your final instructions. Let's move on to Canvas. Canvas provides a better interface for writing and editing than ChatGPT's default screen, and it's particularly useful for coding, but has features for writing as well. It's a little hard to find. You need to click on this ellipsis to bring it up. We'll demonstrate with a writing sample on tariffs from the website Altius. It's pretty long, so we'll focus on one section. Here you see the Canvas window with the output in the middle and the prompts on the left. Of course, you can continue as you would in the regular chat interface, but Canvas has a few nice tools to simplify editing and writing. At the top is add emojis. Just don't. We'll skip add final polish for the moment and come to reading level. You can go down to kindergarten or up to graduate school. Let's try college. And there we are. If we go up to this clock-looking icon, we can see the changes. And if we say, oh, that was a mistake, then we can hit the back arrow to reverse the change. We can also adjust the length. And finally, it can suggest edits. Let's give that a try. Okay, we see it has a number of suggestions that we can apply. Outside of the menu, we can zoom in on specific sections of text by highlighting them. Let's just ask ChatGPT to break this into 2 paragraphs. Voila. Once we close Canvas, we're back in our normal ChatGPT screen, and we see our conversation in the left pane. I don't want to get into coding too much, but I do want to show you something cool. We're going to load a CSV file and ask ChatGPT to perform some data analysis. Please perform EDA, exploratory data analysis, on the attached data. Note that instead of trying to analyze the data itself, it turns to standard coding tools. And we see that Canvas understands that we're working with data and code, and so now it changes its menu. Now we can add comments to the code, add logging code, fix bugs in the code, change the code to a different programming language, pretty awesome, and review the code. And just as with text, you can highlight a section for specific attention. Let's finish with Task. Tasks let you schedule when to run a prompt. Of course, task managers have been around forever, so stick with those if you just want a daily reminder. Task is more useful if you have an activity that could leverage ChatGPT's capabilities. It's still in beta, so it has limitations. The output is limited to a browser notification or an email. The number of tasks is limited, and it's still buggy for a complex task. That said, let's continue. First, you want to hone the prompt that you'll be scheduling. Determine what you want the task to accomplish and follow normal good prompting practices. Then schedule in a task. I'll show you an example now. Let's assume you're an accountant and you want to stay up to date on IRS news. We'll choose the IRS newsroom site to review things from the previous week's announcements. Okay, frankly, this particular task was more an exercise in prompting practices than scheduling. Note that I have to ask for stories in the last 7 days rather than the past week because ChatGPT could interpret week as a calendar week. And note that I have to include bullet points asking it to double check and verify its work. Otherwise, it tends to overlook things. Here's a general prompting tip for creating tasks. When ChatGPT makes an error or an oversight, point out the error. Tell it not to apologize, but instead to explain why it responded as it did. Then ask how you could adjust your prompt to prevent these errors in the future. And that seems to work pretty well. Okay, we have our prompt. Let's see task in action. I've actually pre-recorded this so you wouldn't have to wait for the task to run. Note that we begin our prompt by telling ChatGPT when to run it. Here I've just told it to run at one time, but you could say run the prompt each day at 8 a.m. or run the prompt each Monday at 9 a.m., so on. And then we just submit the prompt and we're set. If we go into our count icon, we see task at the top. Click on that and you see your scheduled task. Click on a task to see the details. You see the instructions and when the prompt is scheduled to run. You can make edits, pause the task if you're going out on vacation or something, or delete it. You'll note that the instructions are only a paraphrase of your prompt, but in a moment we'll see the original prompt is maintained. When you run task, you'll receive an email. In the email is a link, and that brings you into ChatGPT with the prompt and the response. Admittedly, the output could be better packaged, but I imagine that's something OpenAI is working on. With some upfront prompt work, you can do some pretty useful things. Here's a few ideas. Check industry or competitor web pages each morning and write a summary and key points. Check competitor pricing. Look for upcoming events. And in these use cases, I'd advise you to include specific web pages that you want searched on and be specific about the information and timeframes that you want to capture. You might even share your pages of interest with ChatGPT and ask it how to best, ask for the info that you want. Okay, that's it for today. I hope with projects, Canvas, and tasks that you've seen some things to enhance your own productivity. Next episode, we'll be covering OpenAI's more advanced tools. Voice mode, GPTs and tool calling, operator, and deep research. So, please subscribe to not miss these and other ways to optimize your use of AI, and please feel free to leave a like or a comment below. Till then, good luck with your business.